People always love to highlight the highs of living abroad. The beaches, the slower pace of life, the fruit, the food, the ocean views, the freedom, the fantasy of it all. And yes, those things are real. But in my opinion, people don't talk enough about the emotional lows of living abroad, especially as an American woman starting over in another country later in life. I'm 55 years of age, American, living in Jamaica, and while this experience has been beautiful in many, many ways, it has also humbled me very deeply. Because living here is not a vacation. It's not a 2-week escape where you sip drinks and post sunsets. It becomes your real life, your everyday life, and real life follows you wherever you go. One of the hardest parts nobody talks about is loneliness. Not physical loneliness, but emotional loneliness. There's a certain type of isolation that comes from being somewhere where nobody knew the before version of you. Nobody remembers your childhood stories, your old jobs or businesses, your favorite places, or the woman you were 20 years ago. You can be surrounded by people and still feel lonely. And when you move abroad later in life, you realize how much comfort comes from familiarity. Back in the United States, I knew how things worked automatically. I knew the systems, I knew the rhythm, I knew how to get things done quickly, I knew exactly what to expect. But living in Jamaica means constantly adapting. Simple things suddenly require more patience, more planning, more emotional energy. Banking, transportation, Wi-Fi issues, which I've had for the past several days. I've had phone issues, healthcare, paperwork, shopping, deliveries, communication differences, cultural differences. Even figuring out where to buy certain basic things can just become an all-day thing. And after a while, that constant adjustment can become mentally exhausting. And another thing people don't talk about is grief. Not grief from death, but grief from change. You grieve old routines, friendships, your old home, your independence, your identity, even if you choose this life willingly. Sometimes you miss stupid things that make no sense, like a grocery store, a familiar smell, conversations where nobody asks where you're from. And then there's the emotional reality of being seen as a foreigner. People may assume you have money even if you don't. They may think your life is easier than it is. They may project stereotypes onto you before they even know your heart. Sometimes you feel admired, sometimes misunderstood. And I feel misunderstood a lot of time here. Sometimes isolated. Sometimes all of them in the same day. And there's also the pressure people put on you to act grateful all the time because you live in paradise. But paradise still has hard days. You can live near beautiful water and still cry at night. You can hear tropical birds and still feel anxiety. You can post pretty videos online while questioning yourself, your choices, your future. And if you're strong enough to really do this, like living abroad doesn't magically heal emotional wounds. Sometimes it magnifies them. Because when you leave behind distractions and all the busyness and everything familiar, you meet yourself more deeply than ever before, and that can be uncomfortable. I think a lot of people imagine moving abroad means escaping life, but what really happens is life simply changes scenery. You still have bills, you still have relationship struggles, fears, health concerns, loneliness, hormones, aging, trauma, uncertainty. You still carry yourself with you wherever you go. And for women, especially starting over later in life, can feel both empowering and terrifying simultaneously. And that's a crazy feeling. There are days when I feel strong and deeply connected to this life I'm building here, and there are days I feel tired, vulnerable, homesick, stretched thin. Both things can exist at the same time. And I just feel we need more honesty about living abroad, not to discourage people, but to humanize the experience. Because the truth is, moving to another country doesn't automatically make you happy. It simply gives you a different environment to continue becoming who you are. And some days that journey feels so beautiful. And some days, like today, it feels very, very hard. Thanks for listening. Love, health, and wealth.